Hello and welcome to this episode of Two Whole People. I'm your co-host Connor.
And I'm Kevin.
And we're here to talk to you about all things data science, data engineering, software engineering, and career building, I guess. Because we graduated from college, we've begun our careers, and we've learned a few things here and there that we might like to share with 10 people maybe who watch this video.
Or nobody.
Or no one. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was being way too optimistic there.
10 people is kind of a lot.
Well, anyway, in this episode, why should you listen to us? Well, I have a data science master's. I've been a data engineer now for about 4 years. I got a bachelor's in computer science at GCU, where I met this guy here.
That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just a software engineer guy who also is the product manager and project manager and the data engineer and all that.
Yeah, you wear a lot of hats. And we'll talk more about that in a later episode, which we're excited to film. But anyway, for this episode, the topic is dealing with burnout, which is something that a lot of people have to deal with in a lot of different types of jobs. But I feel like in the software world especially, it's one of those things where you're at your desk staring at a screen for 12 hours a day, and then you get to the point where your eyeballs are burning and you just need a break. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about how we deal with burnout and how we think, how we find a balance between dealing with burnout, but also continuing to work and get your job done well and not just being a sissy pants about it.
Sissy pants. That's a new one to add to the list of what we've called the people who watch these videos.
Yeah, we've called them a lot of things, but it's okay because there's only like 4 of them. So
Maybe.
2 of them are our wives, who don't even watch the whole way through.
They just watch until it counts as a view.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if they even hear this, which is at the beginning of the video. But I don't know if they made it this long, but I guess we'll see when they go, hey. But anyway, we should have them on at some point and just have one where it's like what it's like to be married to a software nerd and just how horrible that is for them. Anyway, to start things off, not that everyone's a sissy pants who says that they need a me day or they need a day off, but when you're dealing with burnout, I feel like there's a tendency for certain people, and we'll start with the harshness. There's a tendency for certain people to take it too far and to just, it's like Aziz Ansari, his character in Parks and Rec, who it's like, treat yourself.
Yep.
Like it's that mentality all the time where it's like, I just need a me day. Like every other day.
Yeah, I just need a me day. So
Yeah.
I'll only work 2 days this week.
Yeah, it's like most days are me days, and there's some days where I work. It's like that's probably taking it a bit too far. So to begin with, we just want to kind of state, I guess, that we don't mean to just not work or to take too much time off or to only work, less hours than you should each day. We think that you should put in a hard week's worth of work. And then that way, at the end of your week, on like a Friday afternoon or a Friday night or on a Saturday, when you get to take those drinks with the boys, or you get to go on a date with your girl, or you get to take a break, it feels like you've earned it, and you actually get to relax, which is nice. And I don't know if you're like this, but that's how my brain is. I can't take a day off unless I feel like, I worked my butt off this week, and then it's like, okay, I can actually like sit back and like, enjoy a dinner out or something.
Yeah, even when I take days off, I always end up working because I'm like, I could just do that one thing real quick. It's not really work, but then I end up working the whole day. Yeah. I definitely have the same thing, but the weekend feels so much better when you're like, I worked hard.
Absolutely. And on that note, finding a weekly balance between the stuff you have to do and the stuff you want to do.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that, Kevin.
Yeah. So this is something that I've been learning a lot recently, is there's going to be stuff that you just hate about your job. Like no matter where you work, who you work for, like there's just going to be stuff that sucks. Like whether it's reviewing somebody else's PR or doing all of that stupid admin stuff that you have to do when you submit a new PR, I mean, your whole job isn't going to be writing code and figuring out problems. So having a healthy balance every day to where you're not spending days on end doing the stuff that you hate, but also where you're not putting that off and just not doing it, because then you're going to get in trouble and get fired. So finding that balance to where, you know, you have something to look forward to about your job and remind yourself why you got into this business in the first place every day, as much as you can, if not every day, every week. Being able to balance that out will definitely help. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like how you're trying to find a balance in doing the work that you like and doing the work that you don't like. Because if you just leave all the work that you don't like until the very end of the day or the end of the week or the end of the month or something, and then it's just going to be a terrible few days where you hate your life.
And then that's when the burnout.
And at the end of that, you'll need to take some days off. Whereas if you just kind of balance the things out, you don't have to do that at the end of a terrible few days. Yeah. If you just kind of, at the end of every day, I'm going to make sure I do the stuff I hate so that I don't have to worry about it in the future. But yeah. And then something that I've done, this is kind of a practical method, I guess, for finding out how much you can work each day and each week and each month without being burnt out, is it's what I did. I purposefully burnt myself out. So I worked as much as I possibly could. And this was particularly true when I was doing my data science master's. I was doing that at the same time that I was a data engineer full-time. So I had a full-time job in the software space. And then I was doing a data science master's on my off time. And this was actually when I lived with you, and you like I didn't talk to you for like a few months.
No, he would just disappear. Like I didn't even know if you went to work or what. He just didn't exist for like a solid month or two.
Yeah, it was. But I used that as an opportunity to figure out how much I could actually work, like while retaining what I was learning at work and at school. And it turns out that like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
It's probably too much.
Yeah, it's probably too much. Like a 12-hour day or more, because there were some days where I would get up at 8 a.m. and then I would go to work. I'd get off at 5 and then I would do schoolwork until 12 at night. And then I would go to sleep for 8 hours, get up. And like all I was doing was working. And that definitely, I was like after a couple weeks of that, I was like, I don't remember anything I've done at school or work. Like nothing is staying in my head. So this is no longer optimal. Because even if you're a crazy workaholic type person and all you want to do is work all the time, there's still an optimal amount that you should be working, and you shouldn't push past that, because then you're going to damage yourself so much that the quality of work that you're doing is going to begin
slip
to
a lot,
dip. And that's definitely what I found. I was like, what I'm doing at work is garbage. What I'm doing at school is garbage. I need to chill out.
Yeah.
Roll back the hours that I'm working, hang out with Kev a bit more, hang out with my girlfriend and now wife a bit more, and and just take some time to relax. And then when I would get back to work, I would actually want to work, and I would do a much better job. Yeah. So that's kind of the method I used. At some point I was like, let's see if I can just work all day. And then I did that, and I was like, well, that was garbage. So I'm just going to roll back hours until I find a good spot that I could actually, work as much as I wanted to work. Where it didn't impede my work. Yeah. And that might be kind of a psychopathic way to go about it, but...
No, that's exactly what I did too. Yeah. During the pandemic, like when it first started, we were just starting to roll out what is now MTI, the app that I built in the company I work for. And we were redoing the whole UI. So I was just like, you know what? I want to see how much I can do. Because I was working from home. So I'd get up. I think I started work at 7:30 every day. And there were a few days where I worked until probably like, I want to say 12. And then there was one day where I pulled an all-nighter. I did a 24. And I was like, I can never do that again. I never want to do that again. It doesn't mean I didn't do it again, but I shouldn't have done it again. But then after that, I started realizing, if I get to work at 7, and start working at 7, I really can't push it past 6. After that, things just start.
Your brain just turns off.
Yeah. After that, like, I don't know if this happens to you, but like you're looking at the screen and like nothing makes sense anymore.
Yeah. No, when I get very tired, I find that like I start to space out more, and then the time that I'm spaced out gets longer and longer until I'm like, this is no longer like a productive way to.
Yeah, I'm not even working.
I can't
anymore.
focus at all.
Yeah.
And I just can't even help it. It's like I keep like blacking out.
Yeah, yesterday I was trying to do Friday was yesterday, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to do a quick sort algorithm, and I just couldn't do it. I was like, I've done this before. We did it in college all the time.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't write it.
Yep. It's getting too late, especially on a Friday at the end of the week where you're like,
especially like after
your
you
taste buds are like, why aren't there beer?
Yeah.
Like, there's no beer in my tongue. What's going on?
I haven't even gotten a drink all week.
Your body's dying to die.
It's Friday at 7 a.m. I don't know. I don't know what you want me to do.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's a good point though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is to be aware of, and not to actually be aware of like, okay, I'm so tired I can no longer focus, and not just, I'm just a lazy person and I'm going to use this as an excuse to go to Facebook or YouTube and just start to slack off. It's like, no, you can tell when you've been working all day and you're actually like, I actually need to take a break here because the quality of my work is dipping. So don't use excuses, but also don't be stupid.
Yeah, there's a happy medium.
Yeah. And I think our last point here was, and this is kind of a weird one, but it's, you need to find time to work out and find a way to make it a part of your daily routine. Or, you don't have to work out every day, but at least a few times a week. Specifically, because we've found that like it helps for me at least, and Kev can talk about this after. Like for me, I can focus longer when I routinely work out because it does something, to my body. Obviously, it helps me to stay healthy in terms of my physicality. But like in this case, we're talking more about the mental benefits that you get from regularly. If it's cardio or weights or both, it is something to my head where like even if I get less sleep at night, but I find time to work out, like I feel like it more than compensates for the lack of sleep for some reason, which seems weird, but it's like it gives me that like extra boost to focus longer and more, especially when I work out at lunch or when I go for a walk at lunchtime even, or when I find time to get on because I work from home. I have a bike that's right over here in the corner. At lunch, I can hop on the bike for 10 to 20 minutes or something. And then I get back and I sit down at my desk and it feels like I'm sitting down for like the first time that day. It's like, okay, I'm like reset and I'm back. Yeah. And then I can focus in the afternoon, which I know is a time where a lot of people tend to start to lose their focus. I can focus in the afternoon as if it's the morning and just get more work done.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I didn't work out for like the first 2 years that I worked at my job. And I'll tell you what, those are not great years.
Yeah. How do those years compare to now that you're doing it?
So like now every day I get up like way too early and work out.
Gotta do.
But definitely it helps. Even like my coworkers have said, like, you seem happier. You seem like a happier person, which is saying something because I didn't used to be a happy person. But yeah, so when I work out, I get to work and I feel like I'm like ready to go. I think it's part of it is because, just getting up early and working out, that's 2 things that I've already accomplished that day. Whereas before it was like, get up, try and like run and get ready for work and then go to work. And then I'm all stressed in everything and I haven't even started the day yet. And then, so I start work stressed rather than now it's like I go to work, I have plenty of time. I get to work super early because I'm insane. And then I just kind of hang out.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a lot easier to concentrate when I don't start the day feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I think that's the key.
True. Yeah. You know, for some people who don't ever work out or lift weights or do any cardio, you might think it stresses you out, or you sweat, you get all worked up. But I mean, for us, I think it like works the stress out.
Oh yeah.
And then you get to work, and then you're less stressed than you would have been.
Yeah.
And then you feel better, and you don't feel as emotionally hyped up from all the stuff that you have to get done during your day. Because it just gets it out. You get like a chance to work out your rage.
Yeah, your rage, the thing that this stupid business person told you.
Not that we're filled with rage all the time, but that's
I don't know about you
because well, that's because you're Irish. And,
yeah,
you got that.
I got a little bit of white hot rage all the time.
Anyway, so if you're upset,
gotta work out. Don't punch anyone.
Do some curls. Come on, you got to get out there. Yeah, I think that was everything for this vid. Short and sweet.
Yeah.
Dealing with burnout like a true Chad, not like a sissy.
Like a Sigma male.
Yeah.
I hate that I just said that.
You don't want to be a beta.
We got to cut that. We got to cut that out.
The end.